A couple of weeks ago, I released my first Quake map, Containment Center, a competitive multiplayer map. Now that I feel pretty comfortable working around Trenchbroom, I began working on my single-player map almost immediately after. For this map, I wanted it to be about infiltrating a castle and completing a series of trials to go on and defeat the king. I felt the dark castle theme would fit well with Quake. This week, I wanted to give a quick work-in-progress video of my new map, Castle Siege, as I work to translate this 2D map into Trenchbroom. Along the way, I'll describe how the encounters and structure of the 2D map changed as I began to implement and playtest the map. As you can see, my map is already differing a lot from my 2D map. That's because when I initially wanted to have this really nice framing of the castle in the distance kind of being uncovered by this hill, but then I found out the hill would had been very big and very long in order to get that effect. So I just started the player down here, that way that as they walk up from this low angle, then the castle just kind of slowly comes into view. It makes it seem a lot more massive than it actually is. And this area is going to be an outside area, that's why we have all these weird jagged things. It's going to be more of like a hilly ground, really. After you kill these guys, then I was planning on having some enemies come out up top here once they die, and then once you kill these guys, then some more guys will spawn. The wall will open up, guys will spawn shooting at you, along with buttons behind them, and one of the buttons will open the door, and the other button will open this bridge here. I initially was kind of skeptic about adding lava and letting the player die that quickly, but since it's so early in the map, they wouldn't be losing that much progress. So once you come in here, you'll notice this big tower in the middle, which I hope to make a lot more detailed next week. I want it to be kind of the main focal point of the map, and you'll see what I mean later on. But you have this gate which you're trying to get through, and then you have to complete these 3 trials over here. So in this puzzle, you're presented with this, and then these enemies don't actually know you're here yet because I put a clipping plane and you can't actually shoot them either. But once you hit this button, you're going to see a message, and basically you need to get to the end of the passageway and kill all the enemies before a timer is up. So once you shoot that, the timer is going to start. You have 60 seconds to get to the end and kill everyone. I wanted these guys to kind of surprise you. You can see the timer remaining popping up. And this one, I wanted these guys just kind of trickle in. And once you get to there, the timers all get destroyed, except that last one. The last one will always be triggered. But the other timers get destroyed, and you get transported. And if you don't win, you actually get teleported back to the beginning, and you have to try again. Then once you get in this area, you actually come up here, and you can see that giant tower in the middle. It's still not very obvious because of just how placeholder everything is. That is the main area down there, just to give you kind of a sense of space. Once you get this, I just had the player look at it before teleporting them back. One last thing back in this red room, I purposely made it so as you round the corner here, you can just see something out of sight. Where that dog is actually where the shotgun is placed. So you get to, I'm playing with the line of sight a little bit to give you, so as the player rounds the corner, they're immediately like, oh yeah, what's that? Another thing about that timer room is that once you get to the last second, the very last second, it'll actually last 3 times as long. So I wanted to give the player just a little bit of more edge if they get close. And this one, I kind of wanted to bait players into wanting to get that rocket launcher, so... And then that happens. And then you're stuck in this teleporter room where you need to guess which teleporter will progress you. And the secret here is you need to look for the way the room looks, which is a little bit hard now with placeholders. In the end product, I want the subsequent rooms to look very different in terms of the lighting and like how much blood is on the walls. But from here you can tell that you're making the right choices because as the room gets darker. through there. And then just like the other key room, you're on the other side now. You get to look at the tower. And then because I felt bad about stealing the player's wishes away with a rocket launcher, you do end up getting it. In this room, again, just playing with the line of sight. As the player rounds it here, you can kind of see the acid just around the corner here, and as well as the platform. I got these platforms going on a train just to make it seem like they're floating. And this one's just a bunch more trains. And this one, same thing. I kind of wanted the player to just round it and then just barely see that super nail gun. And when you collect a super nail gun, that these lizards pop out, and you gotta shoot them. Then the starts moving, so it makes it easier to dodge them. And I purposely tested the way the wizards spawn. Cause I initially had the wizard spawn over here somewhere, but then I found out that as I was playing it, that I would never notice it because I wasn't looking that way. So now I have it where when you get to here, the wizards will actually spawn in this corner over here. I'm bad at platforming. There we go. And then you, of course, you want to give them some more health to recoup whatever they lost. And then same thing, you get another vantage point of that tower. And when you complete all three, then I want to have the spawn system end with it. And then once you kill these guys, then the final gate will open. I wanted to have some detours for the player to here just to get a bunch of items and armor, and I'm not planning to have any enemies spawn here. So I want the enemies to be like, oh wait, why is the designer giving me all these items? It must be because it's for a boss fight or something like that. And you can see down here to the left is where the boss fight is, but I purposely made this ancillary room over here, I made the path shorter, hoping that the player would go over here first, knowing that that way will be towards the actual end. And also players just tend to go to the right regardless. So this room is where the last boss fight is going to be. After you kill him, it'll move this chair, which right now it's not going to move at all, to reveal the last exit gate. And there you have it. That is Castle Siege in pure Greybox form. I'm now going to be working on filling it up with all kinds of entities and figuring out how I'm going to do the boss fight, and then it'll be texturing, and then it'll be released in about 2 weeks. My name is Chris. Thank you for watching.